Aga Khan Agency for Habitat and Mira Bhayandar Municipal Corporation is delighted to launch the climate action plan for Mira Bhayandar. We were so happy, in fact, it started with cooling solutions for heat waves. We had piloted in Hyderabad. All of us, as you're aware, 2024 was the worst year when it came to heat in the history. So it's very important to create cooling solutions, especially for the vulnerable. And of course, it affects all of us. So in Hyderabad, we did a study where we piloted and we covered, 1 lakh square feet of rooftops with this SRI paint or white color paint, and we found that it brings down like 3 to 4% of temperature, which is great. You may say 3 to 4%, so what? But when it comes to people living in informal settlements or slums, a lot of diseases are heat led. So as a result of that, we said let us do something now on a city level. So in fact, we approached Mira Bhayandar and we are delighted to work on the climate action plan. It didn't happen overnight. In fact, we worked to collect 30 years data, and we are projecting it to 2047 to make Mira Bhayandar a climate resilient city.
How did Mira Bhayandar Municipal Corporation come on board to help in making this plan, and what is their role in the future?
So it was great to work with Mira Bhayandar Municipal Corporation because a lot of the data resided with the corporation. So when you're talking about 30-year or 10-year data, so we work closely not only with the commissioner but with the entire team. We're very happy to say, in terms of the key findings of the plan, 62% is contributed through energy emissions, 19% through transportation. The key findings of the Mira Bhayandar Municipal Climate Action Plan shows that 62% is contributed through energy emissions, and out of 100%, 40.5% comes from residential housing societies. So we are delighted to say that we didn't stop at the plan, but we actually took up a residential housing society of 282 units and increased the efficiency by 62%. So not only are we stopping at that, we are getting it certified by IFC Edge, and if all things go right, it would mean that it would be the first existing housing society in the world to get certified. So, if you ask me how is this connected to the main plan, so what you can do on a residential level directly contributes to the emissions of your city and country and the world. And what is great is this model can be replicated in other housing societies, in other cities in India and the world.
Prerna, can you emphasize a little bit more on how the collaboration with the municipal corporation
Right. So we approached them and they got on board, and we've been working with them for the last 1.5 year. In fact, our people were based in the corporation, and our interactions have been on a weekly basis. So a lot of good work, and would like to acknowledge their cooperation in it.
what kind of strategies have you adapted to control carbon emissions in the climate action plan?
Right. So I was talking about what you can do on a housing. Of course, there are different verticals like energy and buildings. Then you have flood and water. We have suggested strategies in those areas too. Then you have, of course, waste, transportation, different verticals. So a big focus, given that 62% comes from energy and buildings, we are focusing in this area. Besides the work that we have done on a residential housing society level, we have actually taken up 3 municipal schools, and we are working to see as to how we can make them energy efficient. We have put in measures which will bring down the electricity bill at least by, I don't know how much, but realistically around 20%. The other vulnerable population is the slums, informal settlements. So we have put in cool roofs, something called alufoil, increase the ventilation, to see as to how we can improve that. So if the models work, like I said, it can be replicated anywhere. 50% of Mumbai is people live in slum settlements. So these solutions, which are the demonstrated models, could be very useful, anywhere in India or the world.
Mira Bhayandar Municipal Corporation has come out with the climate action plan. It is one of the different initiative we have undertook independently. The changes in climatic conditions that are creating unease in human life needs to be addressed in urban areas, urban populations. Nowadays, we are experiencing the hottest year, we are experiencing the flooded cities, we are experiencing the low green cover. So to address all these issues, Mira Bhayandar would like to cope up with these all changes in climatic conditions, and so we have, with the help of Aga Khan, we have developed one climate action plan. That climate action plan elaborates all the necessities required to address changes in climatic conditions, the treatments and timeline for it. So I am genuinely thankful to the AKAH for supporting our initiative to make comfortable and easy life for the citizens of Mira Bhayandar.
So I think a big focus should be on solar, because right now solar is 2% of the energy source used. So we see great opportunity to use rooftop solar, to use solar street lighting, and also solar in parks. So there's a huge opportunity here of integrating solar.
Tell us more about the two societies and Mira Bhayandar that helped in implementing climate action.
Right. We were able to work with the housing society because they have an excellent managing committee. So we worked with the Navyuvan Housing Society. And what we did is we worked with them and did an assessment to see where they are on energy, water, waste. And then we put in measures like BLDC fans. We put in solar for common area lighting. And we also put in aerators. We also helped to get senior citizens involved in kitchen gardening and segregation of waste. The BMC Municipal Commissioner has also extended support, to do biodigesters within the society, bringing up the energy efficiency by 62%, which is huge. And it is a role model society which is green and energy efficient. And we could say that some of these measures can be replicated elsewhere in other housing societies. And you may think in terms of, oh, I'm doing it only on a housing society level, but considering that 40.5% comes from housing society, it can be huge in terms of contributing to the commitments made by our prime minister to nationally determined contributions.
Thank you, Rena. What are the metrics that will be used to measure the success of the overall climate action?
So we are working with National Institute of Urban Affairs, who is the representative think tank of the Urban Ministry. We have frameworks that we have following with them, and all the recommendations are tracked and updated on a periodic basis. So we'll be using that framework and those metrics.
Perfect. Now we'll move on to just focusing on the climate action plan.
Yeah.
Beginning with, if you could provide an overview of the plan and what are its primary objectives.
Right. So, the climate action plan is a document. It's like, if you want to start somewhere or if you want to know what progress you've made, it's very important to measure and to know where you stand. And it's a great document to get people to work with you. The next step of a climate action plan is an investment plan, because while we may have plans and we know in terms of the roadmap, you need money to implement. So it is estimated that worldwide there's $300 billion required on a yearly basis for climate change. So here too, the next steps would be in terms of to work on investment plans and to get different parties involved and take it forward.
What are the key initiatives in this plan?
So we have focused a lot in energy and buildings. where we worked with housing society, we worked with slum settlements, informal settlements, and we worked with schools to increase the whole thing on energy and building. We're also working and given suggestions on flood because it is landlocked, and in terms of specific wards, what can be done. Specific suggestions have been given in the area of biodiversity and keep having people's biodiversity registers. And in the area of waste, the municipal corporation has done fabulous work where they are already converting waste to energy. So yeah, so that's the broad outlook.
How does the climate action plan on engaging with residents and stakeholders in during the implementation?
So we would be like we are already working with one housing society. We'll use this model to inspire others and tell them in terms of the cost benefit. We're working with three schools. We'll see as to how we can work with the school community, working on the demo in slums, how we can accelerate that. So there will be active involvement of the residents to implement this plan and the varied stakeholders. We are also looking to see in terms of funders for this particular action plan.
Uh, just the last two. What are the most significant challenges in Mira Bhayandar city in terms of implementing this plan?
So I think the most important thing is funding. So if funding is available, we have a demos that we have done. We can scale it up. So next step is investment plan and funding partners.
And lastly, what role do partnerships with Mira Bhayandar Municipal Corporation and other organizations play in enhancing this plan?
So as you know, climate is such a huge issue. It cannot be done alone. It requires partnerships. So it's great that a non-profit like us is working with Mira Bhayandar. And in fact, we are looking at certain corporates who have expressed desire to participate and fund and jointly work on projects, including on cooling solutions for heat waves, on bringing down carbon emissions. So that's the way forward.